Are live, ladies and gentlemen. Hope our sound is better than last week. I am Corey Showtime,
I'm Kevin Monroe.
and this is the Showtime and Kev podcast. And we can't do the thing that we do so well until Kevin scares the feds off our back with his island intro. So, Kevin, if you would be so kind.
In the name of the one called on Emperor Selassie, I conquering tribe of Judah, King Kings and Santa Cruz, Reggae Music Festival with the Rasta, the God of this peace, Lord of mercy.
Book, 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 book. Meh, 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 meh. Oh man. Happy second hangover day of St. Patrick's Day to those of y'all that celebrate. I'm black, so I don't give a shit. To you white people,
St. Patrick's Day, by the way. Like,
yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
How old are you, really?
Exactly. I'm 38. I did that all through my 20s because there was drunken white women everywhere. So of course, but I understand why it's a thing. I'm just saying I no longer care.
No, absolutely. Like, I didn't even go out on Thursday night. Like, I was literally like almost under my bed. Like, I don't know what the hell is happening out there. These people are. I mean, St. Patrick's Day and SantaCon are 2 days where I treat it like it's an air raid, like it's curfew. Like, I don't even bother going out. You know what I'm saying? Curfew.
That makes sense. Oh man, how are you doing, bro? How, real quick self check. How you doing, man? How's your mental health? How you feeling these days?
It's been a rough week, bro. I mean, like, I've told people, look, everybody just take 5 on this Friday, okay? I mean, there's a lot of things going on in the world that's like it's making it hard for people to feel comfortable. I mean, you can't just go to your day job not knowing that there's a war happening, right? I mean, you try to like, you're sitting in a meeting and Carol is harassing you about an Excel spreadsheet, and you're like, this motherfucker's dying. Like, what am I doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like it's you can't be a conscious human being right now and just be like, we just went through Trump, just went through a war epidemic. Now we're in the middle of a war that might turn to World War III. What's within that? Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, I hear you, but I can because I'm American. I'm used to this. We're always at war. We're always fighting someone.
Walking everything out.
Yeah, and there's always it's like, oh, violence, gunfire, people losing their homes, and like, oh, you mean Thursday?
Right. Yeah, we live in a country where 25 kids could die in a school shooting. We go, oh, all right, well, thoughts and prayers. When's the next Batman movie coming out?
It was pretty good.
Like, for real, it's really like that, So for me, I'm just trying to keep myself ballasted, and the inspiration I use for that is like I look back at like the civil rights movement, where they protest, they get their ass beat by the police, but then they have parties and they make music. Like you gotta be able to be a human being and laugh and enjoy shit at the same time deal with tough shit.
It's gotta be a balance.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how do you feel about it? Are you Corey's like weed.
That's the only. Honestly, I've been numb since fucking college, bro. Like that's the only way I get through this shit. Like as you pull up a beer, like come on, we all have our coping mechanisms, you know. You're lucky I'm not on black tar heroin right now. The way shit's going down in the last fucking half a decade. Like the last 5 years have been rough, man. God, 4 years of Trump and then a fucking global pandemic, and then here we are.
Right. There's so much going on. I mean, people have that, but of course, in the American way, because Americans care about capitalism and commercialism, they always want to put a happy face on stuff because sad people don't sell things.
Yeah.
So it's like, keep going.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've been doing a lot of internal work on just trying to see its place for what it is and try to encourage other people. And I think that's the only thing you can really do. If you try to encourage other people and help other people, it makes you feel better, and that's probably the best you can do. I mean, real talk. What am I supposed to do? Like, pick up a gun and go to Ukraine? Or
no. No. Kevin, look at me, nigga. No.
I think the Ukrainians might shoot me first. They're like,
Yes. Yes. This has nothing to do with us. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We don't even have coastal accent that bothers us. This is not our problem at all.
The black community has officially abstained.
Yeah. Thoughts and prayers, Ukraine. Can't help you with this white on white violence. Don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, we forfeit.
Yeah. Plead the fifth.
Exactly. We just sitting there like looking over the hill like, damn, they really shooting each other over there.
Yeah, like we have our own shit to deal with. You know, like I live in South Central. It's like, oh, we're in a war zone. Like,
Well, I mean, of course, it makes sense. Like, remember there was like two two like house robberies that happened in Beverly Hills, and one shooting happened in Melrose, and it was the front cover of the LA Times.
mm-hmm.
And that was like three things that happened, and it became like an LA Times story. And the mayor was like, we're gonna get more LAPD in West Hollywood and Beverly Hills. Meanwhile, like, that night, South Central, the numbers are like whatever.
I have such terrible epiphanies when we have this show. Because I was thinking to myself, like, why is it that there's so much crime in the hood where it's like low risk, like, well, now I want to say low risk, medium risk, low reward for like thievery. Like, you can get killed by the person that lives there. You can get killed by the police. You're most likely gonna go to jail. Might as well take a trip up to Beverly Hills at night, even though they got security, even though they got cameras and whatnot. You know they got some shit worth stealing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I was talking to a bartender yesterday. He's talking about he walked into a 7-Eleven and some dude, and there was an armed robbery 10 minutes before he walked in. And I was like, who the fuck robs a 7-Eleven? You trying to do spend time over the little $20 bills?
Yeah. Like, your rent is due tomorrow if you rob in a 7-Eleven. Like, these gas prices are out of control. He was like, give me 75 on pump 5 right now.
I'm surprised people are jacking gas right now.
That's probably why he robbed the place. Like, you got to steal for gas money because that's pretty much what you go get. If you rob a 7-Eleven and you get $500, that is gas money for 2 weeks. That's all you got. I don't know what to tell you.
That's where it's at. I mean, it got so bad. Like, I have an app, my Bank of America app. Like, it like texted me. It's like, we've detected an unusually large transaction. Did you buy this? And I was like, yeah, it's gas.
That's gonna be a fun one for the open mics.
It's gas, nigga, gas.
So many.
Right, so let's get into the topics, man.
Yeah.
We're just kind of
Speaking of the reason why comedians are gonna be doing a bunch of gas jokes today, let me just bring this up.
What do you want to hit first? There's so many things happening.
Well, let's just see what's still up there. There we go.
Bam! Brittany Griner, two-time Olympic champion, WNBA star, 6'9". I believe not the only, but I believe she's the first woman in the WNBA to ever dunk in a game.
Yep.
Has been in prison since February in Russia.
Also, going down in Black history as the first black woman NBA player to try to be like, hey, they ain't my kid. I was like, that is impressive. I'm like, so that baby ain't mine. I'm like, touche.
You got that part covered. Tristan Thompson, take note.
And she still had to pay child support. That shit was hilarious.
Like, yo, I know I'm in the league, but
it's like, oh shit, it is fair. I had no idea.
Like, come on, man. Like, you can't do that to me. And you know they don't make no money. Like, the highest paid WNBA player makes like $220,000 a year.
If they were making any money, she wouldn't be in Russia right now.
Exactly. That's why they play in Russia. Okay, and to me, okay. By the way, I think she's really a hostage. And as soon as I heard about the story, the first thing that came to my mind was a Dave Chappelle joke. Mm-hmm. Talked about black hostages are bad bargaining chips.
Damn. That is some genius level comedy curation on your
Hello?
part.
We have five black. Hello?
Shout out to Dave Chappelle. I'm sure he's watching.
Yeah, nobody cares about black hostages. So I was like, oh, I hope they don't do that to her. But the thing about her though is like she's been playing in Russia for years. I mean, they
Mhm.
all make like millions playing in Russia. So the
Yeah,
idea that somehow she suddenly forgot the protocol this year, just before the war, is hella fishy.
exactly. And the amount of marijuana or whatever they're trying to say she had, hash oil. It's a vape pen. You feel me? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's either she had one and forgot she had it on her, or someone slipped that shit in her bag. Because there's no way in hell like she had like enough vape pens or enough cartridges to warrant some kind of international trafficking bullshit.
Right, right. It's not a felonious amount. I mean, it's not like she had like a bag taped to her,
It might be a
taped.
felonious amount for Russia, which would be convenient, wouldn't it?
It seems very 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 convenient that just right now I think they're just using it as a bargaining chip.
Yeah.
And
Um.
and of course, and here's the worst part of it. So when Russia started this invasion of Ukraine and the Russian media like RT and all these people started putting out stuff, a lot of Americans were like, "Well, this is propaganda. Don't listen to them. They're Russians. It's propaganda." But then when this story came out from the same Russian media that Brittany Griner was riding dirty, suddenly all these people on Twitter, white people, were like, well, you do the crime, you do the time. She should have known better.
Fuck's sake.
Wait a minute, did you just call those guys propaganda and liars? How is it all of a sudden now it's a black lesbian? Now they're the fountain of truth. How'd that happen?
It's amazing how quickly it does. And Brittany Griner is a black lesbian woman in Russia. I in any normal
Now these
situation,
motherfuckers are mad because you could dunk on them. That's number one.
you know how you just brought up the Dave Chappelle bad hostages thing. I see that and raise you the Patrice O'Neill. You know how like the value of a white woman is how long they searched for her if she was missing. Like
Right,
if Brittany Griner was Britney Spears, we would have sent SEAL Team 6 to come get her by now.
right. Brittany Griner was missing for a month before that shit happened.
Yeah.
We heard about it. We heard that shit last week, and she's been in there since mid-February. Like how you lose a 6'9" black woman for a month and nobody noticed?
It's not like she's inconspicuous, you know what I mean?
Oh my god. Oh, dog, I'm 6'6". If I go missing, I'm probably dead. Fuck it.
Most likely.
Right.
And we will call off the search after 8 minutes, like Patrice said in a bit.
Yeah, like I called his phone when he didn't answer. He's probably dead. Rest in peace, homie. We love you, dog.
Yeah. But here's the thing though. I have no idea what to do for Brittany Griner. Like she's stuck because ain't nobody did like people are making a joke that Trump would have got her out of there. And it's like I hate to think that. I really hate to think that he would make a fucking stink about this because he went and got fucking Lonzo Ball's brother. We didn't went and get him. He said some shit and shit happened. But like,
Yeah, I mean,
has anyone in the government addressed this?
I mean, it's not like Trump was never like really fucked with black people. Like he fucked with Kanye, you know, um, he fucked with what's the name, Kardashian, who was trying to exonerate like black death row
He
people.
gave
So
Candace Owens a job. No, not Candace Owens. Omarosa. I get those two mixed up.
yeah, well, same terrible weave. But but I think what would happen is he would look at Brittany Griner and go like, yeah, I don't want to fuck her. Who cares? like his primitive brain, it works that way. Like
Yeah,
every woman that works for this guy looks like a like a cheesy playmate from the 80s.
you're not wrong.
So,
You're not wrong. But like, what do we do? Because they're
well,
saying they're gonna keep her there till May for nothing. And it's like anybody that's ever been in jail it ruins your life. Not necessarily because like, oh, I was in jail. Like, no, it's because you're in jail. Like, you don't, like, everything in your life falls apart because you're not there to do your life. So this woman is gonna be. She's been overseas for what, like, she planned to be overseas for like however long she was gonna be there, and now she's been in jail for like almost a year. Like, or it's gonna be almost half a year, almost 6 months by the time hopefully they let her out by then. So like, then what? You know what I mean? Like, it's not like her bill's gonna get paid in this time.
Yeah, well, she has a wife. I think she still has a wife, but yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff falls apart. Your money falls apart, relationships, and I mean, just the physical aspect of it, man. Like, I mean, it's like me flying coach. Like, I mean, I can do that for 4 hours, and then it just hurts. I mean, the cells are not big enough to fit a 6'9" person. I mean, she's an athlete. I don't know if she. I mean, athletically, will she recover from this? I mean, this is like it's like when the police hit Thabo Cephalosha and broke his leg. I mean, the guy retired after that. You know what I mean? Like, like the system can fuck you up in a way that destroy your athletic career. I mean, I mean, that's, to me, not being able to run for months. I mean, that's terrible.
You're not wrong.
I mean, what's she doing? Like lifting, doing pull-ups, uh, lifting. I don't know, lifting cans of tuna in bags to like protein up. Like, how do you can't be
She's
a
still a woman, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, she ain't gonna be doing that American Me workout, nigga. Come on. Bruh. Like, she might, like, time out. Like, we do this a lot. Like, not me and you, but like men. We do this a lot where we like treat like a stud or a man or a handsome woman, as you say, like she's a man. Like, no, she's still a chick, bruh. Like, this isn't fair.
I don't know. She might be
She
out
a
there.
massive woman, but she's still a woman.
She might be out there in the yard, like, putting out orders.
I mean, she can't punch you from across the street, but she's still a woman. Like, they still, like, if they beat her ass, it's still gonna happen a lot worse than it would be if it was a man.
Yeah, that is true.
There's still a lot worse shit they could do to her than if she was a man. Like, if this was LeBron, he could probably take more of a beating, I would assume.
Right. I have no idea what the situation is.
And if it was LeBron, they would send Jason fucking Bourne. Be like, there's no way you're stopping $1 billion of our fucking revenue. They would get LeBron in a heartbeat.
Right. And that's the discrepancy, though. I mean, like I said, the most highest paid in the WNBA is what, 220,000 a year, whereas like the highest paid in the NBA, they're topping, like Steph Curry's like hitting like 40 mil a year, and that's before endorsements. Like,
Yeah.
endorsements. I'm just talking like off the. So I'm just trying to figure, like, I mean, this whole situation, like you said in the beginning, this wouldn't happen if the WNBA didn't pay their players like, close to what they pay the NBA players. And even if, okay, why can't the NBA subsidize the WNBA the way like college football subsidizes lacrosse?
Okay, time out.
I mean, why is that not a thing?
You're absolutely right. In 2019, which is like, this is old data, but in 2019, the total salaries for the entire WNBA was $10.83 million.
Total for everybody.
For all the teams, everyone playing. Every woman in the league. I think that includes all the coaches, all the referees. Like, Steph Curry could pay for 4 WNBAs.
Right.
And still have $4 million left.
Yeah, I mean, Tristan Thompson is like stumbling out of bed and making $8 million or something like that. So,
Stumbling out of some woman's bed and making $8 million and paying it away to Christian. What? Why do you hate condoms so much, Tristan?
Okay, now this is a side alley to Tristan.
I know. I was talking about Brittany, and then we got in the natural lane of basketball and NBA players, and then I'm sorry.
No, it's, hey, you know what? I don't know, man.
This nigga.
He's Canadian too, so you can't really be like, oh, this he's just a regular ass nigga. Like, no, he's Canadian.
So what does that mean? So, like, every time he gets a chick pregnant, sorry, like, this, like, what the fuck? I think the 6'8", tall, dark, handsome, rich thing probably trumps the whole like Canadian stereotype. Pretty sure every basketball player has a paternity suit because they can.
Right, right. So while we're in this vein, let's let's switch to the next topic, which is we will touch on Deshaun Watson. Okay, so for those of you who are not sports fans and don't know, Derek Deshaun Watson is an American football player from the Houston Texans.
His real name is Derek.
His first name is Derek. His middle name is Deshaun.
I had no idea.
Yes. Yeah, he played for the Houston Texans. He played college football at Clemson when he won, and he led the team national championship in 2016. He was the first round draft in 2017. Okay.
Yep.
Now he's been accused of a lot of sexual misconduct. There's like 22 accusers out there, but the Cleveland Browns like looked past that and gave him $230 million guaranteed. Which is about what $10.4 million for each of the 22 sexual. So that seems kind of okay. I mean, you think of it that way.
The man can still throw and run the ball better than 90% of the league, and that's all they care about, and that's all they've ever cared about. Like if you can beat your wife, it's a 6-game suspension. You could terrorize your wife, and it's a 4-game suspension. You can uppercut your wife, and it's a 2-game suspension as long as there's no footage. But if you gamble, that's a year off. Like you can't.
Yeah, that's crazy. Calvin Ridley is suspended for a year for gambling on a football game. But here's this guy that like literally 22 women are accusing him in court. Like civil court. Like this is not, bullshit on Instagram. They're going to the court of law and suing him for exposing himself and doing all kinds of other heinous shit to them. And Cleveland Browns are like, so?
Yeah. like it's funny, but like I mean, like you're like surprised, but I'm like, yeah, I kind of get it. Like it's surprising that they're so blatant, but it's the NFL. Like they don't give a fuck. Like Michael Vick, God, I hate throwing him under the bus all the time. What's his name? This particular murderer, the one they made the Netflix documentary about. He's tip of my tongue. Aaron Hernandez.
Oh yeah.
O.J. Simpson. Like, come on, bro. Like, this is light work for the NFL. This is Thursday. Well, today is Saturday, but I just keep using Thursday as a random day of the week. Like, they don't care.
Right. So kneeling against police brutality, you're out. But punching your wife is in. Literally killing people is fine.
On the fence. As long as it's allegedly, it's okay.
Yeah. See, if once there's footage, yeah. Then you're in trouble. Like what's his name? Like Joe Mixon, who plays, I think he still plays for the Bengals. He punched his wife, and he's in the league. But Ray Rice, who did it,
so you can.
Yeah, that was a finish him move. That was straight out of Street Fighter 2. On camera, yeah, he's done. Like he's never coming back.
Shout out to that family because she is still with him. That is a ride or die.
Yeah, I don't know, ladies. Maybe it's 2022. Maybe you should just go get a degree and make your own money.
Anyway, sorry. The reason why Deshaun Watson is getting $200 million is because of allegedly. And as long as it's allegedly, if it's allegedly for 5 years, he gets the whole contract. But once allegedly turns to you did it, then it's like then there's like, oh, we got to do something. But also, it's Cleveland.
No, not necessarily, because what's his name? Antonio Brown got accused of stuff, and Tom Brady stepped in and vouched for it.
Yeah, and when Tom Brady vouches for you, that's like a pardon from the governor. Like that is a pardon from the governor. Like that's a get out of jail free card. Like he could. There was a time when he could just call up Trump and be like, "Hey, stall him out." He stalled.
Okay, now here's a great question. Do you think Tom Brady would ever like step out for Colin Kaepernick?
No.
No.
He didn't.
Not a chance.
When the fuck did he? Like he had 7 years.
Okay, well, I mean, but how about now? Like, dude, I mean, he has nothing to prove. I mean, he's like, you can't cancel him now. Like, well, he unretired, but I mean, seven championships, all the money in the world, nothing to prove. You can't hurt this man.
Nah,
You think you make that step?
no,
Why not?
absolutely not. There's no benefit in. There's no benefit in it for him.
But you would think. I mean, I have this theory that a lot of white people do the right thing when there's nothing to lose.
I disagree
You
with your
know,
theory.
you know, I mean, I had a joke about that. How like Joe Biden gave Black people Juneteenth as a national holiday because he knows he's going to see Jesus in about 2 years.
Yeah,
So
but like, and sorry to jump on your joke, but the motherfucker gave us Juneteenth. He didn't give us reparations or any kind of police reform or even fucking call back Ice Cube. No, I do not trust white people at any point in time to do the right thing unless they're doing the right thing. Unless I see them doing it and it benefiting me. No, Kevin. Welcome to America. Don't trust it.
I just, okay, fine, okay. I just don't have enough data to make a conclusive statement
You're
about it.
such a
I just
nerd. It's
think
like I'm coming back with facts and like no, bro. Like
do more research, but you're kind of like I've been doing research my whole life, dude.
yeah, like
Yeah, I get it.
yeah,
But I mean,
case in point. Remember that time the cop shot that dude?
which one?
Exactly.
Like there's no, like yeah, pick them out of a hat. You could
I
maybe
literally lost count.
yeah, I mean, you can't keep track. Um, but yeah, and I always tell people that for all the like national headlines, people that get like the protests and Al Sharptons and the Black Lives Matter protests and all that stuff, for all those people, there's dozens and dozens of people you have never heard of because you don't live in their city. Like the guy that got killed in Sacramento, or the guy that got killed in Milwaukee, or the guy that got killed in like Austin. Like a lot of shit doesn't even make national news,
Yeah,
right? You have to be regional to know that that DeAndre got killed on Friday. You have to be in that city to know that.
pretty much.
You know what I mean? So, but I mean, but back to Tom Brady. I'm just saying, like theoretically, this is my theory. A person like Tom Brady has the power, has nothing they can take away from him at this point. Right? You can't take his money, you can't take his contract, can't take his team. The guy practically retired. He could just be like, yo, Colin Kaepernick at least should be a backup. At least. He could.
I can see the possibility of that, but I don't think it will ever happen. Like I can see a world where that roll of the dice could happen, but I wouldn't bet on that. Like that's like betting on snake eyes. Like good luck.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, like, look, in 2004, people didn't think Barack Obama would be president. They're like,
Yeah, it's a long shot, but like it's not one I'm willing to bet on.
right, okay. That's great. I love you, nigga, but I ain't putting no money on you.
No, I already put my money where my mouth is with Colin Kaepernick. I'm just saying, but to your question, you're saying would Tom Brady do that? I'm like, I'm absolutely not putting my money on on that bet.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, it's not about Cap. It's about would Tom Brady or some white person a certain amount of power like put him give him that boost.
Yeah.
You know.
And again, to quote a more talented comedian than both of us, Chris Rock. I don't know if it was an interview or part of his stand-up when he said like, all the progress that we've made so far with race relations in America is like white people doing like learning to it's like we've like in order for black people to like be professors and doctors and lawyers and coaches and athletes and all these other things, like it took a minute for white people to be like, oh well, we like they're people too. It's like we've always been excellent. It's just a matter of you understanding it. So all the progress that we make is just them like chipping away at their racism. That's the establishment, because we've always, and like we've become superhuman in some cases because of all the years of like just killing a bunch of motherfuckers off. In like in any situation where there's a predator in an environment, you are going to adapt. So like that's where you get like LeBron James and shit like that. When Chris Rock was talking about like how do you get somebody like the NFL? It's like you're breeding the strongest slaves. You know, what do you expect?
Right. Um, yeah, I mean, people have talked about that. I don't quite 100% buy that because I mean, the kind of adaptations that make people that 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 would make like a group of people identifiably and reliably bigger or stronger takes multiple generations, and slavery was only 250 years. That's
That's
not enough
multiple
to create.
generations.
Yeah, but it's not enough to create separation. We're talking like hundreds of thousands of years,
I got you.
not 200 years.
But there's got to be some definite reason why 75% of the league looks like us, but you know, on steroids and
Um,
young and much younger.
um, I think. Well, that's social. That's not. I don't think that's biological. It's social. Um, because if we're greater, bigger, stronger athletes, then we'd be excelling in swimming or hockey or lacrosse or any of those things.
I
But
think we get into those because of the social, because of like well that was the thing. They let us play those sports now.
it doesn't mean we're naturally better at the sports. I'm just saying that
No,
we
I'm not saying we're naturally better. I'm saying because of the like. This is gonna get into like this is gonna. It's from the outside and this will be even more racist. But what I was trying to say, and the point that I was making,
where are you going with this?
like I'm bringing it back to the point I'm trying to make.
I have on my shelf.
The point I was trying to make, in even having like the NFL thing, or like Chris Rock saying like you know the progress we make is white people finally accepting the fact that we're equal, is that you saying like to your bet that like do you think Tom Brady would vouch for Cap? No, because I don't think we've got there yet. I don't think there's been enough progress. I don't think we chipped away that far.
Um, okay.
Aaron Rodgers would, and then but now he's backtracking.
Right, yeah, I mean, my suspicion is that Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady know who their fan base is, and they know that their fan base would be super mad, that they brought Colin Kaepernick back into the game. Um, so yeah, I mean, the temperature hasn't gone down on that. Like, you can go on Twitter right now and tweet Colin Kaepernick should be in the NFL, and watch how many trolls come out of the woodwork, the marsh, the garbage can, through the roof,
Yeah.
like flying through the air. He wasn't a good quarterback, bro. And I'm like, yo, you can look this up. You go to NFL.com, there's a spreadsheet that shows you quarterback ratings per year, like who had, most yards. I mean, Cap still has some records.
Yeah.
Like most running yards in the playoff. Like, he went to the NFC Championship a couple. Like, all these things are like quantifiable. They're literally in a spreadsheet on NFL.com. Like, I'm not Columbo. I'm not some super sleuth that
Yo,
figures this out. But they'll come out the woodworks.
the year the year that the Niners went 2-14 with Cap, I would still take that version of Cap over this version of Jimmy G. Because Cap still had a 4-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, and this team has a way better receiving core. And like
Yep.
they won't be dropping everything. Like Cap and Debo would be ridiculous. But and
Oh God!
yeah,
Can you
that's
imagine?
terrifying.
Oh, you got this 6'5", very fast quarterback that's running the shotgun, uh, and then you have this guy Debo that's like all like he can do everything. So you're not sure
Yeah,
if he's running, if he's passing, if he's blocking. Oh, that would be. Yeah, you gotta. Somebody need to put that up, set that up in Madden and run it, and see
yeah.
if we
With
could like
with
do.
George Kittle, which is like a slightly slower Vernon Davis who can actually catch.
Yeah, yeah. I bet. I mean, whoever plays Madden professionally, you should set that up and
And
see.
back to cover my ass on the why black people are better in sports is because that's all we got. That's all we were allowed to do forever. It was like we weren't allowed to be doctors, lawyers, and get into the good schools. We weren't allowed to use our scholarship that we went to school for to actually get a job. So we had to like hustle our ass off in sports and then find something else. So yeah, you're right. It is a little social, because but that still goes back to the point of like we got to keep chipping away at white people being like, okay, we'll let them do this now.
Um, it's still, yeah, you're right. I mean, we've been concentrated in this, and we've been funneled since like junior high, high school. Like I remember in high school, a coach coming up to me and being like, "You're the tallest kid in the school. Do you want to come after school and we can work you out?" You know. And I tried to explain to him, I'm sorry, sir, I just came to America. I don't know what this sport is.
I literally don't know what to do. Like I've never seen this ball.
Exactly. Like, do I kick this? Do I kick the ball? Do I kick the ball now? Do I kick the ball?
Oh, that I would pay good money to see you. Like this is just stereotypically, it's sweet. I'm seeing you like in like 15 in like shorts and like dress shoes because that's all you're like able to afford, and like they call you to play basketball, and then like someone passes it to you, like bounce off your chest and kick it, and they're like, God damn it.
By the way, the African players in the NBA do this shit all the time. If you watch the NBA a lot, whenever the referee like stops a game,
Yeah, they kick the ball
see,
around.
like the African players like kick the ball, like playing around,
Mm-hmm.
because we all grew up playing like soccer, playing like
Yeah.
world football. So, but I'm saying like we're all the point is we're all kind of funneled into that. So if you're in high school and you're black, they'll try to there's this mindset that okay, we can get the black kids to play sports,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then when you go to the AP classes, which are the ones that get you into college, I was always the only black kid in there,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, this seems. How is it that the only time I see other black kids in my class is in PE? You know what I'm saying? Like, how's that possible?
Social.
So yeah, it's a lot of social, and I mean, a lot of black kids too. I think even if they were able to get into AP, there's some social stuff there too, where it's like I don't want to be the only black kid in the class,
Ah.
right? All the time, like that's not fun. Like you don't get to hang out. I remember like one of the things that happened is because I was so isolated. By the time it came to lunchtime, I had to work really hard to make friends with other black people because I never saw in my class. But that's that funneling that they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. And this
Um,
it's funny because like we take for granted how much this shit is instilled in the culture of this country. You know, so it's like you think, oh, how could it be like this? Can't be about race. I'm like, race is in every grain of what we have to deal with. And I wish we didn't. I would love that. I would love that. That I bet you I would feel 50 pounds lighter if I didn't have to feel that oppression all the time. Even though this is America and it's free and whatever, like just knowing all this shit is set against me and everyone that's ever looked like me, it carries a weight.
right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean that's you can work out as much as you want, but you're not gonna lose that weight. That's good.
Did we even talk about like we talked about the girls and Deshaun Watson and everything? Should we move on?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about, and this is a really spicy topic in the comedy world. So rapper T.I.P., aka T.I., aka King of the South,
Mm-hmm.
is doing stand-up comedy now, and he did a set at the Laugh Factory, and that got some pretty good reviews. And now he's like, I want to do comedy. And it's a kind of I want to like celebrate other artists like trying new things,
Mm-hmm.
but my first instinct is stay in your lane, bruh. Like no,
Yeah,
don't do this.
like I. I'm not gonna hate on him because he does seem like he's trying to do it the right way. Like he's actually trying to learn how to do stand up.
I'm gonna hate on him. No,
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will.
I'll tell you why later. But go ahead.
But he's like doing mics. He's like seems like he's actually interested in art. Like he's not like just. Of course, he's getting better gigs because he's fucking famous. But like it seems like he wants to learn. So like at first I was just like, who's the fucking guy? I don't care. But like now that he's popping up other places and shit, I'm like, okay, like he's trying to get into the community. He's giving it a fair shot. So I was all prepared to be loaded up on like how whack this would be, but it looks like he's like really trying.
Is he? I mean, is he really? Is he like going to like open mics and
Bars and
like
shit, bro. Like I heard like people like in the comedy grapevine, this dude's doing open mics in Atlanta.
really?
Really.
Okay. Okay, I can. Okay, I can respect that. I can definitely respect anybody that goes to open mics anywhere.
Especially if you're rich and famous. Like, why would you do that to yourself? I'm normal. I don't want to do that shit. On the real, like, I don't want to sit in a bar and like waste money on drinks, listening to bad comics for 4 hours and maybe get on stage for 3 minutes. That is fucking torture. So if I've seen his videos. He's got access to bitches and fucking jet skis, and he's not doing that right now to do stand up. Ti has my respect.
Okay, all right, okay, I'll give you that. Can you imagine going to Ti and be like, okay, 8 more comics and then you're next.
I'm hoping I get the opportunity to bump this nigga.
we got Ti coming up next, but before that, this cat from the Bay.
Yeah. And give him a little elbow shiver on the way out, like, welcome to the NFL, baby.
And while he on stage watching like arms folded in the back looking at
yeah.
This nigga doing 20. Why is he doing 20? He's doing 5.
And comics is mad because T.I. is like taking up time from the show, and that I get. But like, it's not like now. We've talked about this at length. I have no problem with Instagrammers and YouTubers and internet people and anybody who's in their lane getting money in their lane. Like if you like, shout out to Tony Baker for doing both. But like if you're able to like work on like say TikTok and you get followers, you get advertising money and you making money and revenue doing that. Awesome. What I don't like is when Hollywood comes and reaches out to you and just decides they're gonna put you in fucking stand up out of the blue, out of nothing, with no training. And so I'm doing a real show and you're the headliner. I've been at this 25 fucking years. You're closing this bitch out. And not even so much on the how dare you. It's just that, no, I've been doing this damn near every day, every week. I've been putting in the work to be good, to have the timing, to have the material, to be able to deal with hecklers, to be professional, to be able to shift the whole situation, to know all the nuance of this shit. In 25 years, and you just gonna put this motherfucker up there that doesn't know shit, who doesn't have 5 minutes.
Right.
Good luck, bro.
Yeah. I mean, it's what happens with these people when they put them up is for the first couple of minutes they get like that. Oh, you're famous.
Yeah.
So everything's funny. But when it starts breaking down, they can't sustain. Like they can't get to the 20-minute mark. Fuck it. They can't get to the 10-minute mark.
They can't. Nah, hell no. Hell no.
I mean, they can't set up callbacks. They can't set up a set. They can't have a point of view. I mean, and the thing about T.I. what pissed me off is that like I was watching this set and a lot of the stuff is like, oh yeah, I met this person or that person, and it was really funny, and it's a kind of like I've seen this with actors that do stand up. It's a lot of like lazy celebrity gossip.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I was at this party and you won't believe who was there.
Yes, I would, because I don't believe you're here, motherfucker. Tell me about your famous life.
Yeah, but that's not. I mean, but that's not. The core joke they're telling all the time is, I was at a party with this famous person, and you think this famous person is like this, but they're actually like that. That's the whole joke.
Women be shopping.
Always the same joke. It's like, oh yeah, I met Conan O'Brien, and he was smoking a blunt. Like, oh, I thought he was a clean cut guy, but it turns out he smokes weed. Like,
yeah, this is making me sad.
What is the joke?
This is already making me sad.
And they do this for 40 minutes and get paid and bump people who actually spend time like working on stuff. So I'm like, I don't want.
I understand you're upset, but when has comedy ever fucking been fair?
Like T.I. did the Laugh Factory. That was his first gig. I just got passed to do Chocolate Sundays at the Laugh Factory in 2023.
I know, Kevin.
I gotta wait a whole year.
I know. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. He's famous. That's how this works. That's how this has always worked.
We may not even be alive in 2023.
I know. Why do you keep Kevin? Why do you keep expecting this shit to be fair? It's never going to be fair. It's never going to be logical. It's never going to be a meritocracy. You get what you have the power to negotiate. T.I. can call somebody and be like, I want to do the biggest comedy show in Hollywood, and be on it with no training because he's T.I. That's just how shit works. It sucks, but that's how it is. So, but when people were saying,
I don't have to like it. I don't have to.
of course you don't have to like it. Of course, I'm not telling you take it like shut up and dribble. Of course not. You're allowed to complain. Of course you're allowed to be upset about it. Of course you're allowed to voice your opinion. But like, that's what, like, don't get upset that it's happening. That's always happened. That's always gonna, like, hate the game, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Don't hate the players, hate the game. Yeah, I understand that. But when I get on Chocolate Sundays in 2023, man, I'm gonna try to crush it, and I might throw some elbows at Ti.
Yeah.
But
Here's the thing though, like when they put in the like somebody posted on Facebook about like, hey, how do you feel, like, comedians, how do you feel about T.I. doing comedy? I'm like, how, if I'm Anderson Silva, how the fuck should I feel about CM Punk joining the UFC?
I don't know much about CM Punk. I don't think he's a wrestler, not a UFC fighter. Correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I might feel some type of way about that. Like UFC fighters are, that's real blood and bone over there.
Yeah, but if you're a UFC fighter, are you going to feel concerned? Are you going to feel worried? Like, if you get put in a match with this guy, are you going to be worried you're going to lose? Like, no, you're worried you're going to embarrass yourself by embarrassing this guy too bad.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'd be upset that there's plenty of people that could have taken that slot.
Yeah, and you're gonna take it out on that guy. And CM Punk's gonna have a fucked up face because somebody put him in a situation he ain't ready for. So I respect T.I. for at least realizing, like, oh, if I keep doing this, I'm gonna get fucked up. So let me learn.
Right. Okay. I did not know that T.I. was going to open mic, so I'll give him some grace there.
Yeah.
Right,
but we're always gonna be bumped by famous people, man. That's just how it is. It fucking sucks, but that's just life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's L.A., I guess. I don't know.
No, that's life. Trust me. It's not just L.A. The L.A. just happens way more because that's the industry. But that shit could happen to you in Dubuque, Iowa.
yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, the king of Idaho comedy.
We'll get bumped for T.I.
Okay. Last thing, before we go, you got to show this video. As usual, Corey's a Lakers fan. I'm a Warriors fan, and Lakers are having a terrible season. They're in ninth place right now, and they're basically going to be in the play-in. And the play-in, it means you're not in the playoffs yet. You basically set into a bum fight. Fight to the finish, king of the hill kind of battle, like dodgeball, essentially. And they're pretty bad. And Russell Westbrook has been getting a lot of heat for his. I mean, he's an all-star. He's probably going to be a Hall of Famer, but he's been playing like shit. And this video shows one of those shots where you just go like, "What is going on in this man's mind?" Like, what is wrong with this man?
They missed the free throw, but for the worst free throw shooting team, they're still about 6 or 7 percentage points higher tonight than they are in the regular season so far. Russ in the attacking zone, the former Rocket.
Is this the same play? Hang on.
Pulls up, wants to use the window, and
oh, bro, this is an old one, man. This isn't even the game that they were playing last night.
No, that's the Rockets one. Sorry, I thought I gave you the Raptors one.
Look at this dude, like, just trying to talk shit. And I had my clip ready too. This is my fault.
Well, okay. How did I?
Shame on you. See, you just over here trying to slander this man.
Okay. All right. Okay. In my defense, I was gonna say after that bad shot, basically he shot the ball and it hit the back.
Last night we played the Raptors and he bricked this one, but not this one. Wait.
But if you look at his stats, if you look at his numbers, okay, this is what his numbers are this season.
Hang on. This was in reference to what was going on. If that game would have ended like that, I would have. First of all, I'm proud of myself that I wasn't watching. Second of all, I'm extra proud that Russ was able to get the game tying shot, and the Lakers were able to win in overtime. Third of all, I stopped watching because this season has been terrible. That's because he has confidence because the last one. I'm tired of this whole season, honestly. Everything.
When you hit that backboard, I was like, this dude was feeling himself for reasons we cannot fathom. Like, I don't know, we need an MRI on that man's brain to see what's going on here because, like, people like screaming at him, don't shoot, and he's like, nah, I got this. Boom, backboard. Okay, now what I was trying to say is that all said, if you look at Russell Westbrook's actual numbers, they're not bad. Okay, what we got? 18 points per game, 7 rebounds a game, 7 assists a game. That's good.
That's all right.
Those are good enough. I mean, the problem is when he makes bad plays, they look so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen this guy run a fast break that looks like a Benny Hill highlight.
And that's why it's getting so bad. Like, what's frustrating for me as a Lakers fan is, like, you look at Russ's numbers and they're like not as bad as people make it out to be. You look at LeBron's numbers and it looks like he should be the league's MVP. But none of that shit matters because none of that shit happens when it matters. Like, I was glad to see Russ hit that shot and tie the game because, like, fuck, that's the first clutch shot I've seen him make all season. You know, like, I've seen way too many games come down to the wire, and not only do they, like, fail, they just give up. And that's just been really, really frustrating as a fan because you can handle your team being bad. Like, there's times when you're just, like, you're down, you know? Like, Lakers, Warriors, Bulls, like, every dynasty has seen years where it's like, oh, God, this is rough. You know, or it's just like, you had great seasons. Like, you had, like, 3 championships in a row. Awesome. And then it's like, ooh, man, 15 and 70 something. Like, you know, like 15 and 67. Like, rough seasons. So, and you can deal with those because you just don't have the talent. But when you have the talent and the guys just don't look like they give a shit, that's hard to accept.
Right. I mean, it's kind of like that right now. I mean, LeBron is always getting his little 30 and 10, numbers. The other guy in the league that pads a lot is Karl Anthony Towns. Like, I see him do that shit.
He's on Minnesota.
Yeah, you can always tell that
gotta have something.
I mean, look. I mean, how do you like lose to the Rockets and then beat the Warriors, who are in like 3rd place in the West, and LeBron goes off of 58? That means LeBron was like, nah, I don't want to embarrass myself in front of this guy. But it means he could do that every night if he wanted to.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to. He's like, I got my 30 points. How many times have you watched a Lakers game where, like, in the 4th quarter, it's like 10 minutes into the game, LeBron's already like sitting down? Like, he's like,
yeah, he's cashed it in. Like, I've seen him basically sitting down while on the court, and it's frustrating because LeBron is, like, by far the best player of the last generation. That's not even up for debate. But it's very clear when he's not involved in when he's not fully involved in the game. You know? Like, it'd be one thing if he, like, looked like he was playing hard when he's just like, look, I'm tired, I'm not going to do this. When LeBron is checked out, it's obvious. His body language is awful. And he's been like that most of this year, and look at us, 10 games under 500.
not bad enough to fall out of the play-in, so you're gonna have to go through that bum fight. Like it would be if you guys were a lottery team, it'd be one thing, right? You could play for pride. You could bring up a bunch of G League dudes like Andre Ingram and other people, and like have like, oh, they finally got a chance, and have like a nice story. But no, you're stuck. You're not bad enough to get out of the play-in, so you're gonna have to go through the bum fight.
Yeah, this is the worst place to be. Like, because it's always better to be like the 16th team.
Hail ham sandwich. First person to get it wins. Who?
It's always better to be like the 16th team on a conference than like the 10th, because if you're 10th, you're not in the playoffs and you're not shitty enough for the lottery. So like we're just stuck in purgatory where and with a bunch of high ass contracts and mid level exceptions to have to dole out after the season. This is just gonna be bad. And then LeBron's gonna go play in like fucking Cleveland or wherever his kid is playing in the G League. That's where LeBron's gonna want to go play.
you think like LeBron's gonna go play with the Mad Ants or the Santa Cruz Warriors?
But the thing is, like, the one thing that nobody keeps bringing up, everybody's like, he wants to play with Bronny, but like, he's like, has anybody thought like Bronny's not good enough to play yet? Like,
no, he's not a starter in his high school team.
Yeah, like,
so would that be great if LeBron's like, okay, fine, I'll play wherever he plays, and LeBron ends up playing for the Santa Cruz Warriors or like. Oh my god, I would love to see LeBron try to play the G League.
He would score 152 points in one game.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just thought that idea was hilarious. That I will play wherever my son plays. I was like, are you sure?
Yeah, and it annoys the shit out of me. Like, this is like that's the one thing that like being a Lakers fan, we get a lot of flack for being shitty fans because the vast majority of us are shitty fans. But the vast majority of us aren't actual fans because it's a bandwagon type team. It's like the Cowboys, it's like the Yankees. It's one of those namesake teams in the league where you just like people just migrate over years. But I've been watching this team since I was a kid. I actually care. And this is a rough ass season for the fact that like there's no pride. You know, I hate when my team's not playing with any fucking heart. Like, if they just sucked, I'd be okay with it because then they just suck. It's like, yeah, what do you expect? Like, when Kobe was playing with Chris Mims, it's like, yeah, it's Smush Parker. What else are we going to do? You know? It's one dude and then a bunch of Smush Parkers. Like, no, we got a bunch of dudes that can play, but they ain't. Ugh.
You literally have 5 people on your roster that were the marquee players on other teams. Dwight Howard was Defensive Player of the Year 3 times. Of course, LeBron. Carmelo led the Denver Nuggets. And then you have who am I missing out?
Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, Westbrick. Yeah, he was.
I heard you sneak that in there.
Triple double king. Yeah, sorry, I had to sneak that in there. So you have 4 people on your team that were like leaders of other teams. Okay, all stars, like Hall of Famers. Right, and they're playing together like that Gary Payton, Karl Malone, awful team where they just can't seem to find any kind of rhythm. It may be the coaching because it keeps
time out. Like, people keep calling that Gary Payton, Karl Malone team awful. They walked through the season and walked through the playoffs and then lost in a gentleman's sweep. That wasn't an awful team. There wasn't a single time that season they weren't first place. I get tired of people saying that. This team would get waxed by that team.
Okay, fair enough.
You acting like Shaq and Karl Malone was something people were ready to deal with in the paint.
Yeah, no. Like, there's too many big bodies in there. I don't even.
Ben Wallace. Go ahead.
Most NBA centers now are 7 foot, but they're like neurons knowing. They're like 220 pounds or 250 pounds. You have two like monsters. Like you can't push those people out the way.
Yeah, it took Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, and like all the Pistons being gritty to win against us, and the Lakers and Kobe wanting to beat the shit out of Karl Malone every 30 seconds.
Well, that's a whole
yeah.
Sorry, I lost track of where I was going with this because I knew
you were said Westbrick.
Yeah. So I was trying to tell you that I wasn't gonna like slander the man's name. His numbers are actually right, but it's just that the team doesn't really play defense that well. And
we don't do anything though.
And of course, the main problem is that their big chip is never ready to play. Street clothes. I mean, your man's street clothes is a problem.
No, he's great when he plays.
I don't know what his healthcare plan is, but that motherfucker has so many sick days. Like, oh damn, like.
I mean, I don't want to speak ill of the ill because I know he's not doing it on purpose. You know what I mean? Like, I know he's not getting injured because he wants to. Like, who wants to be hurt? However, this motherfucker, like, the best ability is availability, and this motherfucker does not have that ability at all.
Yeah. I mean, somebody had a theory about this. I don't necessarily believe it because it's hard to prove, but the theory is because he was a point guard in high school, was like 6'4", and then sprouted up to 6'10", 6'11". Mm-hmm. He's not a naturally large person, and therefore his joints are not like conducive to the kind of work he's doing. And the other part of the theory, so a lot of people who are like big, they were already big when they were younger. Like Shaq was always big. Mm-hmm. He just put on more weight. The other part of the theory is that he wanted to play the 4 instead of the 5 because the 5 has a lot more banging and a lot more physicality. And he's like, I don't want to play that. And the Lakers started playing him at the 5 a lot because it was effective. But this is what you get from playing him at the 5.
Okay.
I cannot vouch for those two theories, but they are interesting ideas to follow.
Okay, to your first theory. He's a grown-ass man. He's been a grown-ass man for 10 years. Like, you talking about a growth spurt that happened in high school. That's what's supposed to happen. Were you always 6'4"? Was there a point when you just zoop? Like, you were a baby at some point, and now you're a whole 6'4". At some point in your life, that there was most of that growth happened all at once.
Okay, fine. Okay, I'm just saying, like, his spurt was ridiculous. Like,
either way, like that's no excuse. Like he's been training with the best athletic trainers the money can buy for over a decade now. Like, and they've been cautious about his injuries for over a decade now. That's not the reason. All right. Now the banging thing, there might be something to that, but like, fucking man up. I don't know what else to tell you, bro. That's where you're needed.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Look at Giannis. I mean, Giannis came into the league like looking like a refugee.
He was.
Straight up. Well, he was a refugee too. So that dude looked like good game brother. Are you still eating that?
Yeah. I'm not even playing when Giannis actually got to eat real food on a regular basis. That motherfucker put on like 50 pounds of size, like not like fat. Like he got big, and he grew like when he came into the league 6'8", like 190, and now he's 7 foot 250.
Yeah, I mean he got some real food in him, but so he came in refugee style. So yeah, I mean if it's a thing about your body and getting it strong, I mean people change their bodies. Joel Embiid, same thing. He was fat for a couple of years and wasn't really in good shape.
And he was injured a lot too. And now he's got that under control.
Yeah. I mean, so I don't know. I mean, like maybe Anthony Davis is not doing what he needs to do. Like that dude needs to come out next year and looking like Thanos or fucking. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying you're wrong. I can't say that I can't say he's doing it on purpose. And I'm not going to speak ill of the man that got me a championship. However, somebody got to figure something out. Cause like, bro, how are you always this hurt? Like, what do you need? What braces can we put on you? Where can we tape? What can we do? How can we get you out there?
Yeah, it has to happen because remember when Steph Curry came in the league, the first 2 years his ankles were fucked up and they thought he wouldn't play anymore, right? And he found the right braces, he had got the right and he's never had ankle problems since. At least none that we know.
True.
He's never been out for his ankles.
Yeah, if you would have told me that Clay would have been less durable than Steph over the last few years, I would have thought you crazy.
That's weird. That little kid. By the way, Steph Curry is 6'3". Okay, so he looks small on the court, but he's actually a relatively large man. But his face is kind of childish, and he's light skinned, so everybody thinks he's small. He's not. I've never met him in person, but I have pictures of friends that I know that have met him.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big dude. Like,
yeah.
People think he's just this little fragile child. He's not.
And Westbrick is an inch taller and about 20 pounds bigger than him, and people keep trying that dude for some reason. Like I think a lot of fans watch the game on TV and forget that 6'4" is probably a half a foot taller than you.
Yeah. The bookend this, if the perfect reference to that fans don't realize how big athletes are is the Malice in the Palace. When Ron Artest ran up there,
they fucked around and found out. Steven Jackson from across the street. Wow! When Jermaine O'Neal came sliding in the third with the right cross. Blam! Like, oh, these guys are huge! Like, yeah, you're fighting giants.
Those guys are, they're not just athletes. Like, they're like the biggest and strongest athletes out there. Like, you may have played high school or college basketball, but these guys are bigger, faster, stronger. I've met a couple of these guys, and they're just built differently.
Yeah.
Like, don't test.
I met.
So to bookend this, there's a series on HBO right now called Winning Time, which is about the 1979-1980s Lakers. Have you seen it?
Of course I have.
Okay, what are your thoughts?
I think it's great, and I'm positive everyone that's upset about it has every reason to be upset, and I don't care.
Jerry West is my favorite character.
Me too. He's so mad all the time.
Exactly. Oh my God! Every time he comes on the street, like he's about to fuck.
I think there's only been 2 scenes in the entire show so far. I think we're on the 3rd episode on Sunday, so there's only been 2 episodes. But I think I've seen him in 2 scenes where he hasn't broken some glass.
I don't know why. Like his anger and not winning for so long is so it's so palpable. It's great.
Yeah.
Fuck Magic Johnson. He's so mad. He breaks like a golf club. He throws his. It's great. It's great.
I'm trying to find a clip.
If you have HBO Max, or your family has a password you can steal for a minute, definitely get on HBO Max and watch Winning Time, the story of the 1979-1980 Lakers, where Dr. Jerry Buss buys the Lakers, which was a team that was tanking for years, and puts them in a better space. At the time, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was the main star. Norm Nixon was their point guard, and they drafted Magic out of Michigan State as a 6'9" point guard, which didn't make any sense in the league at the time. Now like the Ben Simmonses of the world are 6'10" point guard. But anyway, so it's great when they show you like how chaotic that was at the time, and how like we look back at the 80s Lakers versus Celtics stuff, and we go, oh, this is so dynamic and so like dynastic. But in the beginning, people were like, this is bullshit. Like, your team sucks. The Lakers were basically as bad as the San Diego Clippers. Like it was just
no. Timeout. I can't accept that.
San Diego Clippers.
No, they just won a championship. Well, not just won a championship. They won a championship in 1972, 73. That was like the best team ever. Like, I think that was like the equivalent of the 73 and 9 Warriors, because that was the best record that the league had that year, or up until that year. But yeah, they were ass for like the tail end of the 70s. And
I'm talking about 1979.
yeah, I got you. But here's what you need to know about the show: titties in the first in the first 90 seconds. Period.
Does that rope you in?
Yes, listen, you had me at basketball on my favorite team. I was staying for John C. Reilly, but then there was titties in the first 30 seconds. I'm like, I'm sold. This can do no wrong. And the show started to get on my nerves because in the first episode they deliver more words, they deliver more lines to the camera than they do to each other. Like, they're breaking, like, it's cute to break the fourth wall every now and again. It's not cute when that's the show, you know?
Yeah, there's an excessive amount of fourth wall there, which I would prefer they don't do so much of that. But the fact that there's like flat out nudity in the beginning means that, okay, finally someone's gonna tell the story. It's not gonna be some like airbrushed, compare that to the Kurt Warner story. Like, who wants to watch that? You know what I mean?
I do not. Watching him play football was way more entertaining than his rise to stardom. No, fuck that. I want to watch the Forum Club. I want to see Jack with a bowl full of Coke. I want to see women run around, titties and stuff. I want to know how Magic got HIV. That's what we're here to find out.
On the real, I mean, they put everybody's business out there.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder, because in 2019, what they started shooting and training for this, I'm wondering if the 3-year gap is between like having to like unruffle feathers and do settlements with people like, you gonna put my shit out there like that?
You have any idea the amount of pussy you had to be getting to get HIV in the 80s? Like, it was new. Like, nobody knew what it was. Like, he just died. Like, he actually, like, found out he had it. Like, in order to, like, I'm saying, like, that's just insane to me.
Well, yeah, I mean, and they do not leave any of that out of the show. I mean, they keep it realer. I mean, as, okay, realer than most shows I've seen about, okay, I would say, like, Any Given Sunday was the closest you've seen of a fictionalized version of what actually happens in professional sports. And they kind of keep it that kind of real. So, so yeah, I mean, if you can't find a clip, that's fine. We can just.
I can't. I was like, just give me a bunch of stuff from the 70s. Like, I'm finding actual game footage that I can't use.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think we've hit everything we wanted to cover this week.
Yep.
So this is gonna be up on YouTube and Twitch. And I'm gonna try to put this YouTube link on Facebook, so my friends who are Gen X who don't know anything about Twitch can find it.
You take a special pride in not knowing about certain technologies, which is weird for a developer.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's your mind only has so much space for stuff.
I get it. I refuse to get a Snapchat. I'm like, I remember I was talking to a cute chick after the show, and she was like, add me on Snapchat. I'm like, I'm 38.
Right, exactly.
Give me your phone number.
Snapchat, like an admin will pop up and be like, are you here to pick up your child?
Yeah, I'm like, give me your phone number and talk to me like a human being.
Yeah, no, I don't do that. Like, especially like even in comedy with business and stuff like that. Like, I'll be like, hey, here's my number if you want to like link up, or I'll give you my number and my Facebook so you can see what I'm about. But if you just only give me your Instagram, I'm assuming you don't want to talk to me.
Yeah.
Here's my Instagram, like scram.
Like here's the least amount of social media I'm willing to give you.
So what you got coming up, man?
I'm gonna be at Chadwick's Pub in Medford, Oregon on the 1st and 2nd of February, and I will be in Jokers in Richland. Huh?
1st and 2nd of February?
Oh, I'm dumb. Sorry, 1st and 2nd of April. I don't know why my mind saw that. I saw the 4 and the 2, and it just flipped. I had a very, very special dyslexic moment. But I will be. Thank you for catching that. I'll be at Chadwick's Pub in Medford, Oregon, 1st and 2nd of April, coming up in a couple weeks, and I'll be in Joker's, Richland, Washington, on June 10th and 11th. And I have no idea how I'm gonna get up there. What about you, man?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of little bar shows here and there, but the biggest thing I have coming up is June 17th in Elk Grove, Sacramento. I'm doing Comedy Under the Stars.
Nice.
Yeah, like 500 plus people. It's gonna be dope.
Awesome, man. Have fun.
I mean, I'm excited, but I'm also like, I haven't performed in front of more than like 20 people in 2 years.
So
like,
it's always easier in front of more people. You have way more time to just to think and move around up there. Like that's why I prefer way more people than no people. Because like when people stop laughing at like a bar show, like there's a dead zone. When people stop laughing and there's 500 people, you have to wait for that murmur to go down. So you have time to like. There's a natural flow to your next joke.
Yeah. I mean, more people, they encourage themselves to laugh and stuff like that. So yeah, so June 17th, Elk Grove here in Sacramento. I'll probably talk about it more as the dates become closer. So yeah, I mean, I think we covered a lot of ground, man. I mean, we talked about Brittany Griner, Deshaun Watson. We talked about Russell Westbrook. I'm not gonna call him Westbrick because the man is still playing, although he does do some Spice Adams shit.
He does, and that's totally. You can always criticize the Spice Adams shit, but you call him Westbrick to his face, he might knock you the fuck out.
and he's in better shape than me. So yeah.
Much better. Like it's his job. Yeah. Don't take it personally.
I don't trust Kaiser Permanente at all. It's a 2-week wait.
It's like to get this shoe out of my ass.
Come on. Your call is very important to us.
Oh, all right, y'all. That's the show. Thank you for tuning in to the Showtime with Kev podcast. We're doing this. It's Saturday. We're gonna try and make it get more consistent coming up. You know how life be. But I'm Corey Showtime. Until next time, folks, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get off Al Gore's internet. All right, seriously, they're watching us. Peace out, y'all.